Jamaica, exercise a high degree of caution. This is the brand new travel advisory issued by our Canadian government for those headed towards Montego Bay, not Kingston, the very popular tourist destination of Montego Bay. It's because of a high level of violent crime and a state of emergency in St. James Parish. Let me show you the area. This is the Montego Bay Airport, and this area right adjacent to it is St. James Parish. There are a number of hotels in this area that are very popular with Canadians. You might have heard of the Iberostar hotels. What about the Hilton? Also the Hyatt, Holiday Inn, all very popular with tourists headed towards these beaches. Now, we've checked in with the airlines. They're still flying in and out of Montego Bay. The hotels say they're full, all despite a military lockdown in the area of St. James Parish.
The key operational objectives of the security forces are to disrupt the activities of these gangs, regularize the security environment, and ensure the restoration of peace and the rule of law.
The Jamaican government declaring a public state of emergency and imposing a curfew following an increase in murders that officials say are linked to rival gangs. St. James Parish, which includes the area around Montego Bay Airport, recorded 355 murders in 2017, and there have been 6 in just the first 2 weeks of January. Earlier this month, a visiting Winnipeg couple was found dead in the parish of St. Thomas near Kingston. The Canadian government is advising travelers to stay within resort properties, to use resort transportation or tour operators for excursions, and to monitor local news. Parts of Western Europe are cleaning up today after a wicked storm ripped through the Netherlands and Germany. Hurricane-force winds upended trees, ripped roofs off of buildings, and blew trucks off the road. 6 people were killed, and the region's transportation network ground to a halt at the peak of the storm. Meteorologists say Frederic was one of the strongest weather systems to hit the region in 10 years. Chinese officials say a sunken Iranian oil tanker may be leaking heavy bunker fuel and light oil off the coast of China. The tanker crashed into a freighter on January the 6th, catching fire and killing all 32 crew members on board. Experts say salvaging the ship may be the best way to contain the fuel spill. The accident is being called one of the worst oil ship disasters in years. Several Canadian veterans who played ice hockey on the frozen river dividing the two Koreas during the Korean War on hand to watch a commemorative game of the Imjin Classic in South Korea today. The event arranged by the Canadian Embassy in the city of Paju to mark Canada's role in the war and its close ties to Korea ahead of the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. The veterans say despite the war setting, they have very fond memories of that game.
When I walked into the dressing tent, I just felt like I was walking into the tent back in 1952 when we got dressed and went out onto the ice. I was just overwhelmed with pride.
Ever since that time, it's been with us, and we've lived with this souvenir or this remembrance all our lives as soldiers, as retired soldiers, and as veterans from the Korean War.
More than 26,000 Canadian troops were sent to Korea to fight under UN forces led by the United States.